My name is Olivia Tutu, the host of Unscripted with LIV, a podcast that will change your life. I'm talking about raw, relevant, yet relatable conversations with go-getters, trendsetters, and inspirational figures. Another week, another episode. Welcome back to my podcast channel. My name is Olivia Tutu, the host of this podcast. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the show and welcome to the family. Don't forget to subscribe, like, favorite this podcast. And if you've been a consistent listener or viewer, thank you so much for coming back again. You know the vibe, you know the drill. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment and share it with two of your favorite people. Now, I'm super excited that I'm finally having a conversation with Mr. Yangeni. And also the fact that he's wearing one of my favorite colors.
Oh, really?
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Olivia. It's
How
a
are
pleasure.
you doing?
I'm doing fine.
And thank you for allowing us into your space. This is a beautiful space.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Now, our conversation today is around... let me not start with where our conversation is going. But I have two icebreaker questions that I'm going to ask. The first question is... if you had a chance to pick a different career, which career would you pick?
Interesting, because I already picked a career. I'm in a career that I never wanted in the first place. So,
okay. So what was your first option?
I wanted to do music.
Really?
Yeah.
But I've never seen anything on your LinkedIn, on your socials that scream, I love music.
People do change. It's possible that when you come and look at life differently, you will pick up certain things that people never know. Exactly.
Okay. My second question, what's your net worth?
Oh, interesting. If we were in America, this was going to be an easy question to answer.
Yeah.
But for the fact that we are in Zambia, it becomes very difficult to answer. Whichever direction you look at it, when you give an honest opinion, there's always somebody who's gonna be questioning those figures and the likes. So for the sake of peace, for you. Yes, for the sake of peace, we have avoided
to answer such questions.
Okay. But we would say we are grateful to God.
We're grateful to God.
Yes.
When somebody says that, just know they're almost hitting $1 million or something in dollars. Anyway, today we're having a conversation around employment and basically the myths and misconceptions, also a career in human resource, and your amazing book that I should read.
Yes.
But what made you get interested in pursuing a career in human resource management? Like, out of all careers, out of all the jobs in the world, why human resource management?
Okay, very interesting question. I would like to, probably before I answer you, remember they say in Zambia we answer a question with a question. In what context are you asking that? Is it because you think that people in human resource don't earn so much, or human resource is a subservient function, as people put it? In what context are you asking that question?
Well, in the context in the context of it being...
Or is it just out of interest?
Okay. Out of interest, like, because I feel like you've done so well for yourself, and so maybe there's someone somewhere out there who's like, I would like to follow his footsteps, So like, how did you reach on the decision of saying, I'm going to do human resource? Was it a well thought of decision to make, or it was like, it might work, it might not, that type of thing?
Okay, I would like to be very honest. I think in Zambia, if we have people who from childhood to uni had their careers already planned, I think it's 1 out of 10.
True.
Most of us actually, we came to know these things probably when you're already in uni. And for the fact that when you're in uni, we've got the issue of making points.
Yeah.
So most people have ended up being in fields where they were able to have sufficient points. I've seen people who wanted to become doctors because they didn't make it in that. They've been forced into other things.
Yeah.
So I'm not very far from those people. Initially, everyone knew that I wanted to do music. And everyone knew that I was an entertainer. But when now I grew up to a level where I wanted to pick a field, now I realized that then maybe 15 years ago, Zambian music wasn't the way it is today.
Now, yes.
Yeah. So and everybody said you end up suffering, you end up struggling because there's no future in this particular one. So we had to give it a try. So coming in human resource was just giving it a try. Basically, it wasn't
might
my
work, might
thing.
not.
It might work, but I would say over time, we had to fall in love with the profession, and it's paid off.
Nice. Now, you've mentioned a lot about like where you grew up from and stuff like that, and I'm now intrigued to sort of know about where you started from. So can you give us a brief description of where you were growing up as a child up until now, like under a minute?
Under a minute. I come from a family of 10, 5 girls, 5 boys. It's a well-balanced family, yes. And I'm the 7th child. My parents, both of them are still alive. They are based in Isoka. Isoka is 900 kilometers from Lusaka. So it's not a short distance. It's too far from here. And it's a rural area. It's a district. So that's where I spend my time. From grade 1 to grade 12, actually, I spent everything in that district. And one peculiar thing that I always tell people is that from grade 1 to 12, basically, I learned most of the things in my local language. If it was in the Queen's language, we only came to learn it so much in uni. So that has also had some effect in how much we could have progressed. I feel there are certain things that I got limited because I was exposed slightly later to the Queen's language.
Nice. Now, you had an interest in music, and then you grew up in the rural area, but you later on came to Lusaka. How was the experience like? I mean, I know I'm drifting away from the whole conversation, but I feel like most of the times when people who were not born in Lusaka and come to Lusaka, there's always these things that they're excited to see, things that they want to see. How was it like? Did you come to Lusaka when you were coming to school in university, or you once came to visit a relative?
No, I had my brother here actually. I had my brother.
One of your older brothers.
One of my older brothers. I came to Lusaka probably in 2001. That was the first time that I came through, and it was an interesting experience. And the first thing that everybody wanted is to learn a bit of Nyanja Mlibwanje, so that you go back home and tell people that but nice. Over time, we came to realize that actually it matters less where you're born from. Yes, to some extent to have an effect on certain things, but it's all about what is it that you want to achieve. And maybe I've seen it that most of us who were not born in Lusaka, we are more hungry for success. For success, because you don't want to go back. Like I would joke with my cousins to say, no, I don't want to live this life here. So I have to do everything possible that you cement your life in the city.
Nice. Yeah. Now, you have been in the industry for over 15 years, right? How have you managed to ascend? Because I think when you're in formal employment, sometimes you get comfortable. But like you said, you come from outside Lusaka, and so you felt the need to make it. But also, in the process of making it, how was it like?
Okay, if you read my book, some of the things that I've spoken about is dare to dream, and the universe will surely support you. I think for me, it's about dreaming. I think I've always been a dreamer. Allow people to dream. Allow people to dream. Society sometimes does limit us. When you dream, they say just sit down, you're dreaming. So if you have every person is born with some dreams, and at birth, all of us, the certain dreams that we are born with, but they wait to be unleashed. So for me, I feel I've had a strong support system. The people, especially my elder brother, I've really looked up to him, and other people that I've seen in the industry. I had this question whenever I would ask somebody, what have you studied so that I'll be like you? Because everything I wanted, I kept asking myself, I wanted to be a manager. But I didn't know where and how. But I had this word, I say I wanted to be what? A manager. Yes. Even when I went to college, I remember at NIPA, friends of mine would call me managers. So for me, it was a joke. But for me, I always believed to say, I had the ability to lead others. And maybe this was coming from the fact that in my high school life, I had the privilege to be a prefect. Not only a prefect, I think I had the privilege to be entertainment prefect. Ooh, that's where the music aspect is coming from. Yes. But I was also in my final year, I was the head boy for the school. Nice. So being a head boy for a school which has 800 or 500 pupils, I think it just gives you a different perspective about life.
Nice. Now, you've worked in different industries. You've worked in the auditing space, you've worked in the hospitality, you've worked in food products, and basically different spaces, right? Is the experience different for each industry, or are they the same? Like, okay, if you're a human resource for an auditing space, it's different for when you're a human resource for a hospitality space.
Okay, I've always believed that we are not what we studied at school. That's a very important point to take note. You can be with an auditing firm, you can be with a manufacturing firm, but that doesn't change who you are as Olivia. So for me, take Yangeni to a mining firm. Yangeni should be able to excel. Take Yangeni to any industry, should be able to excel, because the fundamentals of any profession will still remain the same. What changes maybe are policies and around. So as an HR, this is a people's person. Whether you're working for a company like Zambif, you still be dealing with people. Whether you're working for a company like BDO, you're still dealing with people. The core function of human resources, ability to interact with people and making positive changes in society.
I love that. I love that. So is it safe to say that even as we get into, especially for us students or young adults, is it safe to say that whenever we're getting into the job market, we should be open to any industry? Because there are people who say, I've got friends of mine, I'm doing business administration with economics, right? There are people who just say, I can't work in the bank because like the banking sector, they don't like it there. So some of us have like preferences. I want to work in this industry, I want to do ABCD, but is it safe to be choosy when it comes to employment, or you just have to be open to whatever comes, provided it's in line with where you want to be at the end of the day?
Society teaches us that we all have choices. And it's just good to work in a place where you feel you can thrive. Unfortunately, where we are as a nation, our choices are very limited. I'm yet to find individuals that are working in companies where all along that's where they wanted to be. I only came to know about BDO 5 years ago. I didn't know anything about auditing firms. You know, I'll be lying if I said I knew what auditors do and other things. So it's not easy in this economy to say you can only to be very selective. Yes, I would want you to exercise your freedom of choice, but we are working with very limited options.
So over the years, a lot of entrepreneurs have spoken about how we need to start our own businesses, we need to be entrepreneurial, and to some extent it somewhat feels like employment is being demonized. And you've been in the workspace for over 13 years now. Is employment that bad? And why is it that now everybody is speaking about, oh, you have to start a business, you have to own your thing, you know, like, what's going on? Before I get into the space of employment, I need to understand.
I know that concept could be very confusing because I do spend my Saturdays teaching young individuals about entrepreneurship. Then Monday to Friday,
Then Monday to Friday, you are in a formal setup.
I'm working and everybody's saying your message is not consistent. So what has necessitated this conversation to be happening? Because we didn't have this conversation before. I think we can all agree that the levels of unemployment have just gone to a level that is unmanaged. There's a word I'm trying to look for, and it's unmatched. If you look at the numbers of people on the market right now, no economy can consume those. So how can we help to consume those people? I think only entrepreneurs can help through creation of employment. That's why I think that it's not that people are saying work is bad. Work is good, because even whether you're an entrepreneur or what, you still need employees to work. But where the challenge comes in is that telling people just to prepare for being an employee, there's no work.
There's no work.
So we trying to advocate for more people to create businesses so that now we can consume the backlog which is on the market. I think that's why the challenge has been that it seems to have a lot of emphasis on people creating entrepreneurship.
You know, because I've seen a lot of people say, oh, I left my 9 to 5 to pursue what I love. I left my shani, you know. And so it just feels like where we are at as a nation, especially Zambia, it's okay to just say, I will not get into employment and stuff like that. Because even at school, we have people who are very eager to get the degree and then eventually start doing their own thing. But I think I'm a strong believer of, if you can find employment, work maybe a year or two, get the experience, get the fee, and then if you want, move on to start your own thing. So when I see or hear a lot of entrepreneurs say, I did ABCD, it's just like, what are we supposed to be doing? Are we supposed to be getting into employment? Or are we supposed to be starting our own thing?
Okay, so there's no one solution to that. Some people all the way from uni, they'll be able to become entrepreneurs and influential entrepreneurs. And some people, unfortunately, they cannot do business. They will have to rely on other people to provide employment. So this debate will forever be there. The only thing that I would like to encourage somebody is find your forte as an individual. Where do you think you can excel? Okay? And do not, whichever you find, do not just be quick to say, me, I can only be an entrepreneur, or me, I can only be an employee. You can try both at some point. Then eventually you settle for one which you feel pays you more.
Yeah, because I have a friend of mine who is running a baking business. So half the time, she initially contacted me and said, I want you to be a brand ambassador, try my stuff, post them on social media and stuff like that. And so I noticed to say, whenever I like back off, she doesn't really do much with her business unless I'm like on her neck. And then I realized to say there are certain people who can only execute when they are managed under a system or someone. And then there are those who don't even like to be told what to do. They want to think of creative ways of doing things and stuff like that. So is it safe to say there's people who are meant to be entrepreneurs and there are those who just need to work or be in employment?
I don't believe in that separation. To be very honest, I've got a friend equally. She's an accountant. I worked with them in my previous work. She stopped being an accountant, focused on baking. When she calculated how many cakes she was doing in a week, she felt she was in a better place to be doing what she loves doing. At the end of the day, that thing was earning her an income. So I don't want to sit here and say there are some people who are meant to be employees and there are some people who are meant to be employers. No. The tables can turn. I have seen people who were employees for too long, and when they woke up one day, let me just give you a practical example. My twin brother.
Oh, wait.
No. Wait. My twin brother.
You are a twin?
Yes, I'm a twin.
Okay.
My twin brother, in the previous company, we both worked there. It was unfortunate that I had to lay him off because we were downsizing in that department.
Wait, you laid off your
twin brother? Yes. Because
challenges of being a human resource.
Absolutely. So we were downsizing in the department where he wasn't. Okay, he was a field supervisor where he was involved in sales and marketing. So now when this department was downsized, he still believed that there was potential in that business. He went solo with one or two of his colleagues and formed a company. 5 months down the line, this company was able to get some businesses from our business where I was working as employers. And it was surprising because I never believed that this could happen. They got big brands. I'm not talking about smaller brands. They got brands like Trade King. They got Daily Gold products. They got Yo-Yo products, and they started marketing them, which was not they were a smaller company but to the other one. But what it taught me was that you can be an employee sitting in a company not knowing that you are meant to become a CEO. And right now he's a managing director for that firm, and he's been doing that for the last 3 years. So I have a lot of respect to say, yes, it's not always that you can die as an employee. Maybe you are holding your potential somewhere. So
it's just a matter of you can learn both.
You can learn both.
Now we have this thing. When I was getting into university, right, my parents wanted me to either do medicine or law or economics because these are like prestigious programs, And most of the times, I think the reason why they wanted me to do a health-related course was they were guaranteed, they were so sure to say immediately you get your degree, you will be employed, And then because like when you're doing business administration, things like marketing, human resource, it's a maybe not. You can stay in the at home for like 5 years after graduating. So do you think it's safe for parents or just individuals to say, oh, I'm doing this program at school, I'm doing this course at school because I'm assured of instant employment. Or maybe you just have to follow your passion, follow your dreams, and the job.
I always refer back to in Zambia. I don't want to say Africa. In Zambia, we haven't reached a point where an individual can pursue a profession by following their passion. I'm yet to see the guys who say, I love football, I love soccer, and I will pursue it until it pays me. We have a few individuals we can cite of people like Patson Daka and Enoch Mwepu. These are a few among the thousands.
Yeah.
So it's not safe to say in Zambia we're at a point where you can allow your child to say they love swimming and let them go with it until it gives them some professional income. Unfortunately, we have to be guided, or some people have to be guided in choosing the career, because like whoever has seen something what you've not seen, they stand to have an advantage over you. But with what has happened from 2020, COVID and the likes, I think it has exposed us to a lot of things that we don't need to over rely on the past information, because things can easily change. So if a child comes today and say, Mom, I can do singing and it can make me some money, allow them maybe to practice while you guide them. But I believe that giving people so much freedom to say choose what you want, it's costly, because some people unfortunately needs to be guided.
So it all depends on which career path you want to choose.
Absolutely. But also maybe I heard you say some people say there are some courses which may be subservient to other courses. For instance, when you say a medical student against an HR person, everybody will think a doctor will highly be paid and other things. But I'll tell you now that things have changed. It's not about you being a doctor or an engineer that you can get paid more than a TV presenter or more than an HR. It's about you as an individual.
How are you maximizing?
How are you maximizing your potential? I've been to certain places. I am an HR and I've done human resource throughout. We can get paid more than any other profession on the market. So it's about you as an individual rather than the profession where you are in. Don't die in the bracket of a profession.
Now I have 3 questions, then we move to the book, because while we were still outside when they were setting up, you said a lot of things from the book that just made me want to buy the book. And I feel like also the viewers would be interested. And of course, while you're tuned into Unscripted with LIV, make sure you're sipping on some good cup of coffee, tea, water, juice, or whatever beverage best suits your needs. And don't forget to subscribe. Now, my question is then, you have been doing HR, right? And you probably sit on interview panels. What are some of the things that employers rather look for in employees, like basic general things?
Okay, that's an interesting question. What is it that employers are looking for?
Yes.
Every employer has something that they're looking for based on the needs of the business. But I'd like to address this question in one way or the other. I say the fundamental function or the objective of every organization that we have, that is a profit-making organization, by the way. If it's a business, is to generate an income. We should agree. So if they are looking for a person, they have to look for a person who's able to add value and help them achieve those goals. Vis-a-vis, when an employee is looking for work, is looking for an institution which will be able to meet his needs.
Pay them well.
Unfortunately, I'm yet to meet an employer who's able to pay an employee all his needs. What I know is that they can only cater to a certain level. I'm yet to meet an employee who say, okay, my employer is able to fly me, he's able to give me holidays when I want to, he's able to make me be accommodated. No, there will always be a compromise here and there. So having established that the employer's interest first is to ensure that they are maximizing on the profit, and the employee's interest is ensuring that he also has his salary. Therefore, we should all agree that some of the qualities that employers are looking for, the people who are dependable, the people who are reliable, the people that are proactive, the people that are able to add value to the employers. I call it, you should be a go-to person. Employers are not looking for a person who's creating problems. They are looking for a person who's creating solutions. That's all.
Nice.
If you are listening and you're asking, is that enough? That's all. Just come with a solution to the problem that the employer has, then you're adding value to that particular institution.
I love that. Now, usually when people are selecting employees, a company, there's like a lot of candidates and individuals that come through for the said position, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that especially a young person who's just getting into the job market should amplify either in their application letter or during interviews? Say Olivia is starting out, she has zero work experience, but she knows she's qualified for this. What are some of the things I should highlight in my either cover letter or
CV?
Yeah.
I think the first impression that every individual has with the employer is how you send your CV. And the format in which you send it in. There's a course that, it's not a course. If you've done aptitude test before, there's what we call instruction. Instruction is part of the application process.
Yeah.
So if you've been told, attach your CV and the cover letter,
Yeah.
purely they have just asked you for two things. Then here is you, Olivia. You attach all certificates that you've done.
So you're not supposed to attach.
No, you're not supposed to. Follow the instruction. That's why I tell people, if they tell you, send it in Word format or in PDF format. And now, because people have a lot of vacancies or sometimes a lot of CVs are coming, so they'll tell you the headline for this interview should be assistant receptionist. You don't follow those things, so your CV will automatically fail to make it in a portal where they have, because you put rules in your Outlook to say every CV that will come with an headline like this will be thrown in this.
Yeah.
Now you, by not following the instruction,
that,
you've already being disqualified because it won't go in there. So I'd like to encourage individuals, do not be quick to send your application. Read the instruction, because at the very end of that application, there are smaller instructions which you may forget, but they have an effect whether your CV will be opened or not. Then the other one is avoid grammatical mistakes on a CV. I have seen CVs where somebody has misspelled their own name. They have not put the phone number.
They were in a rush.
They've not put their email address. They have not put alternative contact number.
Yeah.
And you even know that you've got two numbers, MTN and Airtel, right? But they're in one phone. Then when one phone is off, it means both lines are off.
Yeah.
So those are things that, you know, I've seen people, they don't want to call you more than twice. Then if your phone is off, you've lost out. Yeah, so those are the things that ensure that all the details are there. Then recently we've been avoiding or encouraging people not to add referees so much on their CVs. Why? If you see when you're putting a referee down there, you put their email address, their phone number, and the place where they work. This is private information. And most of the time, the CVs never get to be called back. So how many places have you sent your CVs to, exposing your referees' contact details and the numbers, yet you have never even been called for those things? So that's why sometimes it's just important to say referees will be put at the point of interview or something, because you're also protecting the integrity of those other people. Imagine if you have sent 100 CVs and you've never been called. So you are just exposing, because you are putting their phone number, their email address, and where they work and other things. Data privacy is very important. So these are the things that we keep learning. Okay, you may never be penalized, but take note of such things.
I swear I had no idea. I'm pretty sure I've been doing this the wrong way. It's a good thing.
No, we keep learning.
We keep learning. Now, my last question before we move to the book. Do employers rather actually value online courses? Because like now it's a trend. You know how I saw somebody on LinkedIn, I think they posted about 30 certificates they've acquired over the last few years. And so I'm like, I've only done about 3-4, you know, and I'm getting my degree. So do employers really value online certifications?
Yes, they do. But
or maybe it depends on which institution you acquire them from.
But over and above, that is under self-development. An individual who takes time to develop themselves can never be the same with the person who's never taken time to prepare themselves. So some people, I'll talk about this from my book. Some people have taken an initiative to do 3-4 courses, even if currently they do not need those, but they are preparing themselves to potential opportunities which may come. So employers love that. But when you are applying,
Yeah.
you can't attach all the 30 certificates because they
30 of
may
them
not
plus
have
the degree.
meaning to that employer. So every time that you are sending, only attach certificates which are relevant to the needs of that employer.
Nice.
That way you are marrying, have you ever seen what happens, I think artificial intelligence, where you are on internet or something, because you love podcasts, when you go on Google,
You automatically
see things
podcasts,
around there.
yeah.
That's what you should do to an employer as well. Because you know that they want somebody who's a good communicator, who's an inspirational leader. So those are the things you should put.
You should include.
So that you're speaking the same language, basically.
So it's important to tailor your CVs, your
to
cover
the
letters
needs
to the needs of the employer.
Absolutely.
Nice. Now, before we end the podcast, I'm told we're running out of time. I absolutely love everything I've heard about the book.
Okay.
And very soon, I've started bunkering, guys. I'm going to buy this book by end of March. So, what are some of the things that people should look out for in the book, or why should one actually read the book?
Read the book.
Yeah, what's the title first?
Okay.
And then why should one read the book?
We've said this is not just a book, by the way. This is a mentorship manual. No. You won't hold it until she pays. That's the only time that you have it.
Okay,
That's how important this book is. We'll give it to you. So we've said that this Become Unstoppable.
Yeah.
I've simplified the 50 magic lessons to maximizing somebody's hidden potential. And these lessons have been written with great passion for those that are eager to make a difference in their lives as well as the lives of others. I believe that regardless of your position and your title, you will all have an opportunity to inspire others. Like you are a student, and we're busy here inspiring others. So it doesn't matter that your title is a student, but you're able to inspire somebody. I have a mentor. I've never met him, but I've read a lot of his book, Robin Sharma. He says that you do not need to have a title for you to become a leader. Everyone, wherever we are, we can make a difference in the lives of others. So the 50 magic lessons for me, it's a mentorship manual which covers around self-development as your key to your organizational growth. This is an amazing conversation because before the employer, there is you. And after the employer, there's you. So now, how much are you developing yourself? I challenge individuals to say, the year has begun. Do you have any planned trainings about yourself? If the employer that you are working for does not train you, have you planned anything for yourself? Because most people say no company bari turekeresha about train, but it's not their responsibility. You have to train yourself. So the book challenges you to think outside the box. Then also we have one issue that we have to address, which is debt. Everywhere you go, somebody's owing somebody's owing student loans and that thing. So in my book, I talk about how to live a life free of debt. And the question is that, is it even possible? The answer is yes. Other people are living their lives without owing anybody. Then the other one is, how do you become the most sought after individual?
That's my favorite part.
Yes, everybody wants to be the most sought after, but what is it that those people do which others don't do? So the book will help you to position yourself in such a way that wherever you are, people will say, we are waiting for Olivia to come and say something. Then we are working in a society. We have to build meaningful relationship. There's a tendency I've put in my book to say some people will see certain calls and they ignore them. But they forget that sometimes opportunities are wrapped in passages or packages that you cannot tell. So there are those calls that you have missed. You never know who was calling you. So I encourage individuals to pick their calls. No matter how busy you are, please pick your calls. Then last but not the least, I've spoken about the impact or the importance of having to think positive all the time. Most of us have lost even before we've tried. So I try to encourage people to say, you should be the last person to blame yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. This is just life. We're all doing life for the first time, okay? Nobody has lived it,
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And I think one of the things that sold me to the book is the fact that you said up until now, whenever you read it, you still learn. For me, that is like, okay, this is not just a how-to book, but it's something that has practical results if the author can actually learn from it. Now, before we end,
you can touch it now. You can touch it, I know she's been dying to touch it.
But I can always...
No, you can...
How can people get a hold of you should they want to have a copy?
Okay, so we've been selling online these books. If you see, my LinkedIn page is very active.
Yeah.
We have 24,000 followers there. And this is not Facebook. This is LinkedIn. So to have 24,000 followers, you can see how much impact that we're making.
Yeah.
The copy is going for 250. I think by the end of next month, we'll make sure that they're available in Book World and Grey Matters. But like I say, I've delivered books to Australia, China, Canada, Italy, the UK, and the US. This time you don't need to put it in a store. Anybody can buy a book and we can ship it.
Do you have a student's discount?
I have a student discount, but this only happens when I'm at a particular university or institution so that students can get it instantly there and then.
There and then. Thank you so much.
Society, you can't tell that this one is a student or not. We are all adults.
No, thank you so much for allowing us into your space.
Thank you.
Before I let you go, do you have any last remarks, any word of encouragement to that one person who's listening and they basically just want to make it in life?
Okay, there's something I'd like to read from my book, if you allow me. It's on the preface. It just takes me a minute. I say the worst thing that can happen to somebody is an opportunity meeting you when you're not prepared. A lot of people spend a lot of time chasing after their dreams without creating a base on which their dreams will be built. This is very deep for me.
It is.
Are you spending your time chasing your dream without preparing a base at which those things will be?
Yeah.
Let us create a base so that if you're looking to have a child, are you preparing your home where that child will come and be? If you're looking for a new employment, are you preparing yourself to that new employer? Because sometimes it's easier to find a job than it is to keep it. So I'd like to encourage you to prepare yourself for everything that you are working hard for. Please prepare a best, otherwise those things may come and you realize that you are not ready for them.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now we've come to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening up until the end. And if you haven't subscribed, please do ensure that you subscribe, like, and also share it with one of or two of your favorite people. And also, as per tradition, tell me what your favorite part was and how, or if you've already read the book, which part is your favorite, what are your thoughts about employment and stuff like that. Now remember, this episode is sponsored by 17 Restaurant. Do ensure that you check them out. They have very affordable foods, very good ambience. You definitely love it. And like I say, I'm gonna say it, I don't want to be known for what I'm against. I want to be known for what I'm for, and I am for people regardless of who you are. I love you, but God loves you more. See you next week, same time, same place. Bye for now.
Thank you.